Welcome to another edition of Insurance Questions Podcast, number 108. Let me see, Donnie. It is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. Can you believe we're halfway through the month of July?
And it's halfway through summer too. It's crazy.
Jeez, I better pay my rent, huh, for July.
I think you
It's
should.
like sneaking away from me a little bit, huh?
Is it due on the 15th or the 1st?
The first. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
We are not having Sassy Sarah on the show today. She's on a special assignment for the show. So instead of her tech show, we're going to talk about some timely stuff in the news. And I just want to let you know that the comments and statements from Eddie Buffalo and Donnie Lowe are purely for entertainment purposes. Holy cow. Well, number one, Donnie, yesterday on Monday, we started our series of Best of Insurance Questions podcast. And who do you think it was? What do you think one we did?
I don't know.
Number 97. What do you think that
No.
was?
Okay. Yeah.
Your buddy and mine, Billy Sheen. Where did you see he was on tour? Bulgaria or something crazy
He's
like
in
that?
Bulgaria, and ironically, on Sunday, my family and brother-in-law, sister-in-law, my wife,
You
and
go to
I,
Bulgaria?
we did not go to Bulgaria. However, we went to this place in North Tonawanda called Old Man River,
Oh, I've
and
been there many times.
yeah, so it's for those that don't know, it's literally across the street from Niagara River.
What'd you get your wiener? You get your wiener there, Donnie?
No, we didn't eat there, but they had a band playing. They were playing kind of like blues and funk and all that, so it was pretty cool. But it was outdoors,
Yeah.
and they had this big like guitar, maybe like it looks like a guitar, but it's probably about 4 or 5 feet tall. And
Guess it
it's
would help if my microphone was in front of me.
oh, there you go. But I could still hear you good.
Okay.
But anyway, the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame, that's what that guitar represents, and they have all the inductees listed on there.
Got
So
to
I
be
was,
Rick James, right?
oh yeah, Rick James was his name was on there, but I was looking down and said, there's Billy Sheehan. There's Billy Sheehan on
Did they
there.
have
So
one of his basses?
no, it was just like it looks like a guitar, it's just a mock-up type thing
Mm,
with all the names on there. But it's pretty cool, and it
that is
was
very
filled with a
cool.
lot of names. I took a picture. I should
Yeah,
send it over to
I would
you.
like to see that. I'll put that on the TikToker.
Yeah, cool,
So, did
cool.
you have a nice weekend?
Yeah, it was nice, but wow, all this stuff going on in the world, and
World's on fire, baby.
it is, and as we've mentioned numerous times, the financial markets don't like instability. So, wow, talk about instability with
Well,
what
what happened
happened.
this morning on the stock market, Donnie? Because I know you
Uh,
did your research on it.
yeah, so a couple things happened. The market went down, it came back up.
Record
Um,
highs.
yeah, it's crazy, but it's interesting because I guess people are waging bets, so whatever the odds are.
Who's going to win?
So who's going to win the presidential election? And immediately, and this was kind of predicted on Saturday night. Ironically, people were saying by Monday, Saturday Trump was like 60% favored to win, and they are predicting by Monday at some point it'll be 80%, and it's pretty darn close to that.
Well,
So
this is really helping him in his pocket, too. Because I don't know if you saw that Trump media was actually up 50% from where it
yeah,
was on Friday.
yeah, exactly. It's
That's
um,
insane.
it
But
is insane.
the research, I knew you were going to do the research on that, and I did the research on the Bitcoin. Bitcoin itself is up 4%, up to $62,878.73. Crypto on an average is up 5.39% to right before we went on air, 63,223 and 60 cents. And global crypto is up 4.68 for a ridiculous number that when I look at these numbers, I just shake my head. $2.42 trillion traded.
That's crazy.
That
It's
why don't,
crazy.
why don't we just say gazillion? Yeah, it's a gazillion, Donnie.
It's a
That's gonna go
gazillion.
up to a gazillion billion trillion. It's just it's it's just crazy. It truly, truly is.
I
You know,
know.
and we don't want to become like we talked about this. We don't want to be the one beating up on Bitcoin, but we're not beating up on anything today. Everything's up.
Yeah.
you know, whichever way you go, I guess you're okay if you're doing business today. you know, and
Yeah.
I do want to talk about one other thing, and it's a very interesting topic. And I asked you this, and you weren't really sure about it. But say if unfortunately we do go to war, and I have an insurance policy for my life, what happens to that insurance policy then?
Well, if we go to war, and then are you saying like if
If I
you
was
actually have to
killed,
go into battle?
if I was killed directly as a result of a war, what happens?
If that insurance policy is in force, meaning you've had it, you're paying on it.
It
Um,
does not pay, Don.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say,
Especially if you're, I mean, the military, they have their own insurance through the military.
right.
It's nothing like you would get on the private sector.
Yeah, right. It's very minimal. It's to
Yes,
cover
very,
basic
very, very minimal.
basic costs. Um, and I know that for if somebody is in the military and they apply for life insurance, they cannot with any company, as far as I know.
So, what's a good option for these guys and gals?
Well, there are several. If they want that death benefit for their family, we talk about annuities a lot, or they can start an annuity. It's not like they have to come up with a real lot of money all at
Right.
once. They could start the annuity. It's a deferred annuity and just pay into it, and that's a fantastic option for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's, if they're looking for very low risk, it's
Isn't
almost
like
risk
you're going to
free.
get turned down for an annuity, Don.
Yeah, they're not going to get turned down.
That's the
So
thing. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Um, yeah. I mean, I know we usually circle back to annuities, and they have been getting beat up pretty bad in the press.
Hmm.
But like I said, a lot of the press that I have done my research on, it's old. And when I'm saying old, it's like 1 and 2 years old, and things have changed so quickly in the financial markets that you got to keep up on this stuff. You got to keep yourself informed. You can't stick your head in the sand like an ostrich, and if something goes wrong, not deal with it.
Yeah,
That's just not the smartest thing to do. I mean,
exactly.
even when things get messy, you still have to have your head on straight and do what's right for you and your family, And I hope to God that we never do go to war or there's actually a war on the United States territory, like boots on the ground. But I mean, it just the way things are going, it makes you think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's that uncertainty, and that causes fear, and fear
Oh my
causes
God, yeah.
people to make irrational decisions.
I mean, you just got to go to YouTube, and there's so many crazy stories out there about everything and anything. Don, I
Yeah,
saw Bigfoot. Don, there's aliens. Don, Jesus is coming back. Don, this, Don, that. And I'm sure with the shooting, we're gonna get a lot
I
going
know.
on right now.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I like a good conspiracy as anybody, but I mean, what I like to say is numbers don't lie.
yeah.
If you're planning on going into Bitcoin, if you're planning on going to uh, uh, a variable annuity or something that's a little bit more risky, be careful. There are safe options for you. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And again, you kind of look at your portfolio, and when they talk about a balanced portfolio, say your retirement accounts and your life insurance, just it's balanced out that way too.
Let
That's
me
how people should look at that.
let me ask you a question, Don. Okay, so I'm your client.
Hmm.
You come to me to see how if I need any more life insurance, this, that, or the other thing, and you ask me how my finances are, and I say, "Oh, I've had a guy for 25 years. I'm good. What does that tell you, Don?
Well, it tells you that they may not really know what their situation is, and they're just kind of masking it up because they're embarrassed.
Well, I'm not even thinking that way, but just because you have somebody that you like and you work with, I'm not telling you to run away from these guys, but
Yeah, right.
you know, if you have a horrible disease and your doctor says, "Oh, we're going to cut that out," you might die, but you might not. I
Yeah,
mean, what are you going to do, Don?
you're gonna get a second opinion. Have somebody else
Why
take a
should
look
your
at it.
finances be any different?
Exactly. Exactly. Get a different perspective on things. We do
100%.
that all the time. And we're not trying to steal business from somebody or, just steer you into something. We do an honest evaluation. We lay it out for you. Sometimes we can work together. Other times it
Hmm.
doesn't make sense.
I just have a call from one of my children, so keep on talking, Don.
Okay. All right. But yeah, we like to educate people, and make sure they know exactly where they are, where they're going. We kind of help them with that.
Oh yeah.
And the plans are made on your dreams, your aspirations, your concerns, your risk tolerance, not ours. It's all based on our clients.
I mean, your style is pretty much like mine. I mean, when I'll sit down with my clients, whether, I'm showing them something new or just checking up on how everything's going with them, I usually start up the conversation with, Don, what are we looking to accomplish today? Let me ask
Exactly.
you this. Have you looked at your dividends on your whole life insurance? Have you looked at your annuities? Have you looked is there any change in your beneficiaries? Do you still want the wife to get everything, or do you want the new girlfriend to get everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or especially like we always tell people, like I know with your heart, it's a good idea to leave money to minors, children, because you want to take care of their future. But I mean, lawyers get involved, that money gets eaten up. But what if that kid turns 18? I am going to tell you a story about my one daughter. All my kids, I've always had insurance for them. But, under 18, they're only able to get $50,000 of whole life. I actually have three separate policies for my girls. And funny thing happened when Katie turned 18. And, even with us being in the industry, a lot of things, it's like, oh my God, I forgot about that,
Yeah.
because she got her, I got her statement, because it would just come out of my checking account. And I'm like, why, why is that lower? She's a, you know, Valentine's Day baby. So 6 months before, she was already that age and that kicked in. So do you know where I'm going with this, Don? Or are
I
you
do.
okay? So when you're 18, you not only can you start buying term insurance, but if you're a non-smoker, you get a discount, and
Yeah.
it costs you less for that policy.
Yeah. But
That's like I said, sometimes we look at stuff all the time and we forget about little things like that are super important.
right, right. That depends on the insurance carrier too.
Oh my
Not
God,
all
yeah, yeah,
carriers offer
yeah.
that, just so we get that out there
But I'll
too.
tell you, as soon as Katie turned 18, I made sure I got another $1 million policy on her term wise. I mean, because why would you say it's good to get as much term as you can for an 18-year-old, Don?
Well, so typically when they're younger, it's the premiums are much lower than if they wait. And then if you get the proper term insurance where you can start to convert that to permanent insurance as time goes on, you're even better off. So that's the best way to do that. For sure.
Plus, you're insuring their insurability.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do I mean by that, Don? You're
So
looking more
they're on
cover them.
permanent insurance, though not on term insurance, but on permanent insurance. There are riders with the different insurance companies where once they turn 23, every 3 years they can basically get more insurance coverage, add to it, guaranteed, without going through underwriting.
Mhm.
and that's a huge thing. And they can do that up until they're typically age 45.
Hmm.
And also, in between that time frame, for a marriage or birth of a child, you don't have to wait that 3-year period. You can get it then. So that's some great options with that. And
I
really,
have
just
another
to,
question. I'm sorry,
sure.
Don. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
I
no,
got
no.
another
Go
question. So,
ahead.
say if I have a special needs child, am I out of luck? Am I not going to be able to get insurance for this child?
No, there are carriers that have specific programs for special needs children. Now there are maximums on what you can get, but there are programs there where you can get, in most cases for special needs children, life insurance. And again, it's to help for their future, building some cash value, and just it's just a great thing to do for your children.
Mhm.
It really is.
And I know the one carrier that both of us work with, they have a program where as long as the child is between 15 days and 49 years old, not on a feeding tube, not
Right,
on a breathing tube, they can't be turned down, and that coverage is like $50,000. And it's not like 50,000; it is $50,000.
right, right.
And
Yeah, exactly.
there's another company, they're a little bit smaller. On their stage, they're pretty big, but they have the same thing where you can get it for a special needs family, but it's only $5,000. So you really, if you have a special, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you have a special needs child, it's not the end of the world for you. You can get coverage.
Right.
I mean, life is tough enough going through. I respect anybody that does that. And me and Donnie both have children that have had medical issues. Not going into anything, but you know what? You're thinking about all that stuff all the time. You don't want to really worry. Oh my God, if that child passes, how am I going to afford to bury them? You know,
Yeah, and not only that
you hate
too.
to think like that, but it's realistic.
Right, but again, with the permanent insurance that we're referring to, it does build up cash value that can be used for
Mhm.
anything once you have enough cash value built up. So
Well,
even if it's
let me ask you this. I don't know nothing of what you're talking about, Don.
uh,
So these dividends, I mean, does my premium go up? Do I still get the dividends? Can I use those dividends to pay the premium? But I don't want to keep on getting a higher bill. I'm gonna get a higher bill, right?
no, you're not. So once you have permanent insurance, the premium amount stays the same for the entire duration of that insurance, as long as you make the payments on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. On an annual basis, there are a lot of insurance companies that offer permanent insurance, whole life. More specifically, they offer dividends. So based
Mhm.
on the results of the profitability of the insurance company, they'll pay back dividends to their shareholders, which are the policyholders.
Is that guaranteed, Don? I like guaranteed stuff.
I know. So that is not guaranteed because there could be a year.
Why?
Well, there could be a year where they don't have enough reserves to pay that dividend, or lost too much money. But the companies that we work with, one company has been paying a dividend since 1871.
Oh, when you
So,
were in your 30s.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That is just amazing. I mean, obviously, there's no such thing as a sure thing, but that's pretty friggin' close to it.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is. Exactly. And
safe,
you're right
safe,
about,
safe, safe.
yeah, and you're right about too with, recently, like, dividends reached about 6% on average. And with some of the carriers, that's a great dividend. And think about it. When you pull that money, some of that money out of your whole life policy, it's tax free as long as you don't surrender the policy.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of role playing with you right now, Don. I'm
Sure.
gonna be the customer. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am because ladies don't tell you how old they are, and you never know. You know, I'm a little, little extra. I'm a little bit heavy, because I got, 5 kids. So, I'm a real woman. And I'm working at a store, and I start talking to Donnie because he's so personable and he's so cute. Isn't he cute? And I'll say, "Oh, you sell insurance? How much does it cost for me?" I know.
Well,
And what would you say to that, Don?
I,
Give me a
I
number. Give me a number. I just want to know so I can start paying it.
I can't tell you exactly what it's going to cost
You
you.
seem like such a. Why wouldn't you tell me, Don? I'm your buddy. I'm your friend. I'll even
It's
give you
because I
my
don't know
store
yet. I
discount.
need more information. I need more information.
Exactly. It's not a one size fit all, but what
Right.
really clicked for me is people say, "When's the best time for me to get insurance?" The younger you are.
Yeah, it's like yesterday.
Mhm. Mhm. Because
Exactly.
now I touched on it a little bit. I said 6 months before my daughter's birthday. What do I mean by that, Don?
Well, the when the underwriters look at an application, so let's say your birthday is July 1st, and when say January 3rd or 4th comes around, well, no, it would be February, right? So the insurance carriers look forward 6 months. So if your birthday falls on July 1st, so and you apply for an insurance policy in February, March, whatever, they're going to say, well, you already reached your birthday age, so your insurance premium partially will be rated on if you're 25 right now in February and you're going to be 26 in January or in July, they're going to say, well, no, you're 26 years old that's your insurance age. It's
So if
just
I'm thinking to myself, Don, I'm going to wait till my next birthday, then I'll get the insurance. That's
well, then
that
you're
don't
going to be
work
paying a little bit more because you're going to be
that.
1 year older. Yeah. So keep in mind, you know this, Eddie, but
Oh, I'm the
premium,
customer. I
right?
am. What's my name? My name is Julie.
Julie,
I'm
5
single.
children.
I'm 56, but I look younger. I have 5 kids. Don't I look good? Good. Do I look good for
So,
my age?
Julie,
Yes. Yeah.
insurance premiums are really based on three items: your age, your health, and your gender. And I talk about this
Oh,
like,
Texas. Why do you care that I'm a woman, Don?
well, let's see. If Julie, if you had a twin brother the exact same age as you, identical health, your rates would be lower than your brother's rates.
Why is that, Don?
And that's because, on average, the life expectancy of a female is longer than the life expectancy of a male.
What happens if I want long-term insurance though, and I'm a woman?
Then it's kind of the opposite because you're expected to live longer. That means that potential for whether it's nursing home care or in-home care for your long-term care insurance is going to have to pay out maybe more money, so your premium rates will be higher than the males.
Ask me some personal stuff that women do not like telling you.
Well, age is number
How old
one.
do you think I am, Don? How
Yeah,
old do you think I am?
I don't know.
Do you need to
if
see my driver's license? I'll show you that.
Well, actually, I do need to see your driver's
And it'll
license.
say right on there how tall I am, but I'm not telling you how much I weigh, ladies and
That's right.
so how do you go around? And I've had that happen to me a bunch of times.
Yeah,
I usually say, just lie to me. I don't care because they're going to come and do your measurements anyways.
exactly.
You look
Exactly.
stupid though because you lied. If you're 123 and you're actually 189, well, shame on you.
That's right.
You
That's
know.
right. In the past, and not prior to COVID, but maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was the responsibility of the life insurance agent to really go through and dig into
Oh
the
yeah.
medical history of their potential client. Now we take more basic information, and then the underwriting team, there's a medical team that do all of that. So it doesn't put us in a very uncomfortable
So
position.
Don, how can you help people get through underwriting easier and make it a little bit less of a hassle? I mean, obviously, as a customer, I want to tell you as much as I can. That's number one. And number two, are you going to write anything about me? Are you like going to say anything about me that you observed me? What is that a special name for that or anything, Don? It's
Yeah,
setting you
so
up.
there's
Setting you up there, baby.
yeah, yes, you are. And what I tell all my clients is, the questions that I need to ask you, just give me your best, give me the truth,
Yeah,
or it's what you think is the truth, right?
that's all you can do.
Because, yeah, because underwriting, well, they're going to find out everything anyway, because face it, in this electronic age, they can get any medical record and look at your prescriptions over the last 10 years. They can find anything. So I always ask, just tell me up front if you're on certain medications or certain issues, or even on the personal side, like if you had a DWI or DUI
Oh, that's
within the
huge.
past 5 or 10 years. And then we can, if we know this information, we can kind of like write a little story. You're going to find these medications, or this person is on this medication for this reason.
Well,
I'll give you,
how are they gonna know what medications these folks are on, Don?
because when they run, again, they get access to all this information. There's a pretty big central database that
And
all the
most
insurance
states go
companies
back
have
10
access to.
years.
Yeah, and I can give two quick examples. One is I was writing an application, and somebody forgot to tell me that they had a DUI.
Oh, I had the same guy. He was a big
And
dude, and he was pissed off.
yeah, they found it,
Yeah,
and I said,
no big
"Why
deal.
didn't you,
What
why
do I?
didn't you tell me? Because I could have
Didn't think I
framed
had
this in a
to.
way." So yeah, so that was one, and another one. There was a question on a certain medication. I can't remember what it was, the medication, but it's kind of like it could be used for a couple different things for
Mm.
treatment. So the underwriter took the assumption that it was more for mental stability. So I just had to reach out and ask my client. I said, "It looks like you're on this medication." Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. What do
You
you
don't
use that?
forget.
Well, but what do you use that for? I use it for acne because when I get nervous, if I have to do some public speaking, my acne goes crazy, and I only use that when I need to.
Yeah.
Like once a month or once a quarter or whatever. So then it went through fine.
And it's funny now because so many states have so many different rules and that. I mean, I'm in Texas. I can't get my gummies anymore. In New York, I could.
Yeah.
And I mean, you ain't gonna get LSD or anything crazy like that. But I was really surprised that the new thing that people are getting into is gummy mushrooms.
Ah, that's got to
And
taste disgusting.
what's the worst about that, Don, is one of the companies I was told that people were ingesting this stuff. They had a recall on it because they were poisonous mushrooms that got stuck in the batch.
I,
So
I heard something to that effect.
I mean, you got to roll. You're rolling that dice, putting something like that in your body, and it's really none of our business, you know.
Yeah, right,
But where
right.
I'm going with this is that if they find THC in your system, years ago, like when I first started, you'd be done.
Hmm.
Underwriting's done. You get nothing. But now, because so many states are like that, you'll still get insurance. You'll pay a little more, but they will actually rate you like you're a smoker.
Yeah, that's
And where
true.
I'm going with this, Don, when I was a young man and my GA Tom, we went on an appointment together. It was in my neighborhood, so I didn't know the guy. I kind of heard the name,
Hmm.
but he really clean guy. Took care of himself and everything like that. I walk into his house, and oh my lord, there was so much secondary smoke from his wife. When we got his blood back, he came up as a smoker.
Wow, wow.
That's the first time I ever seen, but it was so. I mean, you could see the walls were yellow, like the
Yeah,
lampshades were yellow and something. I had an uncle like that.
yeah.
They had when he passed, they had to paint the place
Oh
just because
yeah.
there was so much nicotine staining on
Like
that. You
our
know,
like our parents' generation and prior to them, that was just common, smoking
my
a lot.
mom started smoking when she was 14.
Wow. Wow.
It did not help her health wise down the road. I mean, I lost my mom when she was 43.
Yeah,
So,
it's way too young.
but back then, you weren't thinking like that. You're 14, 15, 16. Hey, go, Donnie, you got another smoke?
I know.
What do you
It's
got? What do you
cool.
got? Let's get the Camels or the Pall Malls. We don't want none of that filtered stuff.
That's right.
We want the good stuff. You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
who knows what the norm will be down the road, you know. But
Yeah.
as we keep on saying, the world's on fire. Keep your head on a swivel. Be smart about your family. Be smart about how you're protecting your assets and your family. Because, I mean, no one gets out of this alive.
No. Exactly. Exactly. And just, especially during times like this where, if you're feeling anxious, talk with your financial professional. Just, because we try to just, kind of see the whole picture, not just what's going on right today. So,
Like we
uh,
said, you're going for a big operation. Doctor says, 50-50 chance. What are you going to do, Don?
yeah, that's right. You're going to talk with somebody else.
So
Yeah, that
why
knows for
should
sure.
your finances, your financial health be any different than
Exactly.
that?
Exactly.
So we're going to wrap this up today, Don. I think it was a
Yep.
very good episode. Remember, folks, we want to have more questions for tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
So please send them in TikTok, YouTube, one of the other 30 places we're on. We're actually on 31 channels now, Don, isn't
That's
that?
right. And we forgot to do Sarah's part.
Oh, yeah, do
Like,
that stuff.
subscribe, follow, download the videos, press that fan mail button, and send us an email. And as Eddie just said, email us, call us, text us, whatever, some questions. We'd be happy to answer them. Of course, there's no cost to do that for you, no
And the
fee at all.
easiest way to get a hold of us, if you don't want to do that, you can go to www.ebiagency.com, or you can actually call our hotline, 716-306-2020. And don't be afraid. We don't bite. Well, unless that's something you're into, Don.
No, 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 no.
But I want to thank you for joining me, Don. As always, you're well prepared with all your information. And
Likewise.
like we said again, if things are going bad, guys, don't be an ostrich. Don't stick your head in the sand.
Yeah,
Make sure your head's on a swivel. Protect your family. Protect your finances. Protect what's going to happen. And once again, if you like working with people that are just like you, this is the place to go. Once again, www.ebiagency.com and 716-306-2020. Until we meet again tomorrow, stay safe. Go back to yesterday's show. We did the best of with Billy Sheen, episode 97. And until we meet again, have a great day. Take care.
ciao.